All right, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Bold American Podcast presented by Barstool Sports. Coming to you from all over today. We got Ryan in Puerto Rico, Rob in Las Vegas. We have another guest joining from Las Vegas here in about 15 minutes. So we're really coming to you from all over the world. And despite that, we have a lot to talk about. I had a little bit of a viral tweet this past weekend talking about finances as an adult, as a married individual, that you never know what is going to go viral on social media. For some reason, this got picked up and people were running with it. The U.S. is going to go back to the moon, which I had no idea because we haven't done that in like 50 years. The U.S. is also, as we've seen from a lot from President Trump and his team, the U.S. is pushing for control of Greenland. The Pentagon is going to take over control of the Stars and Stripes news publication, which honestly was news to me because I thought they already had control of that, but we're going to talk about that. And then finally, former Arizona Senator Kristen Sinema is being sued by her head of security details ex-wife, if you can follow that along. So a lot to talk about. And before we get into that, last 72, Ryan, we're going to start with you because you are not in the United States. You are in Puerto Rico. So how was your last 72 and what the hell are you doing in Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico, the U.S.?
It is actually.
It's a U.S. territory. Sorry. It's not in the continuous 48 states. Sorry.
Just saying.
Good call out. Thank you.
I'm actually here in Puerto Rico. I'm in a town called Salinas, which is about an hour outside of a little over an hour outside of San Juan. This is my 7th year here. I come back here every year to the same community and with Gold Star families and veterans. And we help rebuild homes. So it is wild. You know, we're visiting our home sites and our projects that we're going to be doing. And we are still like fixing roofs from Hurricane Maria.
Which was what year?
8+ years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of wild. But I always say, like, when I get here, it's so rewarding because it's like one of the few times that I actually get to be a part of the programmatic work that we do at the Travis Manion Foundation. And I came here once just to kind of get understanding of our expedition program. And I fell in love with the people here and the culture. And so I come back every year and it's like, honestly, like it's a way for me to reset. So I'm super happy to be here. I'm super surprised that this hotspot's working. Yeah,
the internet in Puerto Rico on a hotspot is better than your home internet.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't know. Maybe that's just Bucks County, Pennsylvania for you. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
so I'm here for the week.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just saying I'm here for the week doing that.
Ryan, I want to say last year when we started the podcast, you had just returned from Puerto Rico. Is that correct? Or were you already there?
I had already gone. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it looks awesome. I saw Sarah's there.
Yes.
Drew Ross, who's a West Point buddy of mine, he was KIA in Afghanistan. It's cool to see his sister working with you.
Yep. We have siblings here. We have spouses. We have parents. We have children. We've got some young kids with us. I mean, they're like, in their early 20s, and it's just awesome.
Let me better understand, though. Sorry. So the purpose of this is to bring Gold Star families to do sort of this mission-driven work to help random people in Puerto Rico and help rebuild their homes. Am I following this properly?
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing, like the way in which the Travis Manion Foundation works with families of the fallen is a little bit different than a lot of other Gold Star programs, I would say. Our whole model is based around honoring our loved ones by giving back in service, right? Like continuing their legacy of service. So like the best way we can heal is by giving back to others. So we come together and we serve, and we do these service expeditions all across the country. This is just one of many that we do. But I have fallen in love with this. Like, it's personally impactful to me. So yeah. So we spend a week doing hard labor and, but we're in a beautiful area. I will say, right on the water. It's beautiful, but it's very impoverished. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I think that's very cool. Interesting.
Yeah, you guys are welcome to join me.
I want to come one of these years. Yeah.
Yeah, if I could figure it out and make it work, I would definitely go do that. Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Rob?
What's up?
Oh, wait, I have one more thing to say.
Please.
Oh.
I have one more thing to say. Something that happened in the last 72, and it wasn't me, but I also saw it was not on. I was shocked. It was not on our prep doc, but in the last 72 hours, there was a very important executive order that was signed.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
There's been so much going on, Ryan, in the last 72.
I know, but particularly to the three of us, an executive order signed that no other college football game will be played during the Army-Navy time slot. That's huge. So,
Johns, you wanna take that one?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I appreciate the gesture. I don't know. It just seems a little, because I don't know that he has the authority to do that. Technically.
Well, there's a lot.
I appreciate that he's trying to protect.
Technically, have the authority to do, but he does it. So this one.
No, I appreciate that he's trying to protect Army Navy. I agree with the sentiment. I think that part is cool, but I don't know. It's just another reason for people to get upset and get very up in arms. And they're saying, this isn't state-run media and he can't control what networks put on their programming.
Oh, I didn't see any of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the pushback.
I just saw the executive order. I'm a little off the grid, so I just happened to see it. I was like, that's awesome. Okay.
I think it's just, it's more the gesture of it all, that he's trying to demonstrate that it's a very important game and an important game to the country, and very, very good timing because the College Football Committee is meeting this week to discuss the future of the college football playoff. Yeah. So I think there's going to be discussions about expansion of that. So if they expand, they're going to need obviously more days, because there doesn't make sense to keep pushing it further and further into the calendar of the new year. So yeah, I appreciate the gesture. I don't know. We'll see what comes of it, but it was just not one of those things that you would think to see from a president. But then again, so many things happen with this administration that are unprecedented for presidents. So we just got to roll with it. But Rob, what did you think of it?
I fucking loved it. I thought it was great. It was kind of like a sneak attack Saturday news drop. It came out at 11 p.m. Eastern Saturday, kind of random, but the timing of it to me is why I love it so much. To your point, Connor, the CFP board meetings, everybody's coalescing in Miami this week to kind of finalize the playoff format. I thought it was a well-timed tweet, so I have no issues with it. I love it.
Yeah, all right. I guess we'll see what happens with it if people listen to it. I think I do get the impression there's a good faith effort that people want to protect the game. I think largely people are in agreement that they want to allow it to stand alone. But then I also think there are forces at work that people are just all about money, greed, and forget what college football is supposed to be about, and let's just cram more playoff games into this window between December and January. So
I mean, guys, we're talking on January 19th. The national championship game is about to kick off, and it's almost February. It's just kind of crazy to think about that college football goes this long.
Yeah, no, it should be done by now.
Guys, I don't know about you. Like, I'm just kind of like, okay, like it's great, but can we just? I
love college football, but I think it gets dragged out too long.
It's so dragged out. Yeah.
So anyway, Rob, last 72. Sorry.
Guys, I'm training for a half marathon, so I'm not training for a full marathon. I'm training for a half marathon. I'm not gonna post about it though, not too much. But I went for my first run, 4 miles yesterday. I'm so fucking sore. I haven't run in months, and Connor, my body aches. Like I feel like I need to like sit in a cold plunge, maybe a sauna. Like I don't know, my whole body fucking hurts.
Yeah.
But anyways, so maybe stretch a little, but no, nothing crazy. Just moving on. It's my birthday next week, so it's technically my birthday week, guys. But you're the only ones I've told about that, so that's how we're looking.
How old
When
will
is
you be?
the marathon? Oh, I'm sorry.
So there's a half marathon on Venice Beach in May, which I'm going to try and target a half marathon. I ran that one a few years ago. Loved it. Cali breeze. It's cool.
Early train. You're getting started pretty early on your training for a half
I have nothing else to. I'm so fucking sore, dude. Like I need it. I need to start early.
Okay.
And then what was the other question?
How old will you be on your birthday?
36.
All right, getting closer to 40 there.
I know, dude. It's scary.
It's not scary. I promise you, it's not scary.
Okay.
40 and beyond is awesome thus far.
I feel like 40 is like the new 21, right? Isn't it?
I mean,
Definitely.
it's crazy when you, and it's understood given that people just in general take better care of themselves. But
Yeah.
you know, I look at, you know, when my dad was 40 and his friends and what they all looked like at 40, and actually. My uncle was here for Christmas and he's like, dude, you're 41. Like, where's your second and third chin? In general, like most people these days are just in better shape. So 41 does not feel like 41 might have used to.
I got carded at Walmart here in Puerto Rico
Oh.
when I was trying to buy some Modelo Light. So
Let's go.
I think
I didn't even know that you had to present ID in Puerto Rico.
I
I've never
just
been to
looked
Puerto Rico.
so young. I looked childlike, so they carded me.
You think that's because you dress like a child?
Dressed like a child? Oh,
You skew a little younger and you're tired sometimes, I think.
really?
I think so, but I think that's just natural. You have 2 young daughters. So I think like you
Well, we all
naturally
share
probably
We
you
share
do whether you do, but I'm saying like you see them and how they dress, and that probably subconsciously just comes into your brain. It's kind of like at Barstool. Like if you go around the Barstool offices, whether at New York or Chicago, you'll see that like a lot of people have the same clothing, and the same is true. Like go down to Wall Street and go to investment banks, and guys all kind of dress alike, and girls are actually unique in that regard, actually. But I think it's just natural to start to coalesce around your own environment. So it's not a bad thing. It's just something I've noticed about people, and specifically you. So anyway,
You're youthful, Ryan.
Yeah, you're very youthful. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Ryan, one more question about Puerto Rico. What's the drinking age there? Is it 21 or is it 18?
I think it's 18.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
all right. I mean, to tell you, speaking of being 41, this is where I'm at. Like the big update this weekend at my camp here, we switched formulas. So my son has been significantly less gassy, so much more smiley, more happy, less irritable. And it's really finally taken hold. And he's like more regular bowel movements. And it's been fantastic. I feel great for the little guy because there's nothing worse when you kids got gas.
Is Maggie potty trained now?
Yeah.
We're getting there. Certainly accidents are going to happen, I think. But what was it this weekend? I think, she's getting better about like, hey, I got to go to the potty, and she'll go by herself as opposed to like making my wife or me go with her. So she's happy to go by herself. And the funny thing now, though, is when either Alex or I go to the bathroom, if she hears us, she cheers for us. She's like, wow, I'm so proud of you, Daddy. You went potty. Good job, Daddy. You went potty. Because obviously that's what we tell her when she goes to the potty.
Yeah.
So it's just, happy times all around for everybody using the potty in our house. It's
well, that's good. It's on rotate. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then the other big thing, and we can get into this right now, there was a tweet from Dave Ramsey. I'm not sure how many people follow Dave Ramsey. He's a really well-known dude. He has a show where he talks finance and he takes questions from the audience about just standard financial questions about budgeting. And there's a lot of memes that go around about him because he's very inquisitive to get to the root cause of problems for people that say like, well, I'm, $20,000 in debt. And then he asks them like basic questions and how they might find themselves in $20,000 in debt. And of course they answer yes to all the questions he's asking about. So anyway, he had a tweet or a video clip from his show that was basically talking about combining your finances once you're married. And the tweet reads, married couples need to budget their money together. You're married. You're not roommates. Money shouldn't be a me thing. It should be a we thing. And he talked about how was interesting, and I never gave thought to it, but it makes sense, how I think it was like 60% of divorces are caused by financial problems. So yeah. I quote tweeted that and I said, people have different views on this, but when my wife and I combined our finances way back when, our lives got 100 times easier. I have not yet heard an argument that has swayed me otherwise. Again, another arrangement might work for you, but I can't imagine going back to separate finances. And it blew up, as I mentioned, and I got a lot of responses in agreement. And then, the standard pushback, about the biggest one is always like, well, how do you surprise your spouse with gifts? It's like, are you really giving each other gifts that many times a year that you need to surprise them? And there's other ways around that. But I was just kind of curious what you guys think about combining finances as a married couple.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I think it's weird if you wouldn't combine your finances.
Yeah.
I totally agreed with for sure.
Yeah, plus one. I'm curious. I'm gonna dive in the comments after this con just because I want some laughs later in bed. I'm gonna be like, what are people saying? But props to you, man, because this goes to show a simple, poignant, like solid take will take off. And it's like, why is that groundbreaking? Right? It's like, it's almost so basic. Like, yes, when you're married, you trust your spouse, your significant other. Maybe you get a joint account. Maybe you have one account that's together, whatever. Then obviously you have your own investments, or maybe you have combined investments. But why is that so like earth shattering? I don't know why.
Exactly. I didn't think I said anything that was that revolutionary.
I know couples that do not share, like married couples that do not share their finances. It's like, I pay more, a handful. Yeah. He pays this. And I'm just like, that's so bizarre to me. That's so strange.
Not to mention, and it's not about like, obviously there's a big trust factor there. Like, you should have eyes on all of your money and know where it's going, whether it's you spending it or your spouse spending it. But to me, with the separate bank accounts, it just feels like an extra step and more work to get things taken care of versus if you just combined it and only had one bank account to work off of. It just streamlines everything. And if you have one person in the relationship who's like super focused on money and numbers driven, then it makes sense that they can just run with it. And if you trust them to run with it, it just should make life that much easier. So yeah, Rob, to your point, I don't know why
it's crazy.
I got so much feedback, but I guess it was nice to see that people still believe in traditional marriages. So many of the ones that I saw too, that was kind of funny. It's like, there's nothing funnier than when you see a married couple Venmoing each other back and forth.
I've seen that. I've seen that here in Vegas. Yeah. I every now and then I'll be on Venmo, right, to send a homie like some $20 or whatever, snowboarding or whatever. And
among friends, it's one thing, but that's
but you see the Venmo, like the news feed is just like Facebook, right? So like whenever I'm on Venmo, I'll just give it a few swipes to see like why are people posting this publicly? And it's like, I see some significant others like Venmoing each other, to your point, like lawn care, bill this, bill that. It's just like, what? Like, all right.
This has a negative connotation to it, but you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're just moving and shuffling money around. It's
It's
all ultimately going to impact your family. So I just feel like it's such an added extra step to do it differently.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to tell people how to run their marriage or run their family's finances, because again, everybody does things differently. And there's some people it probably maybe works for, I guess, to have separate finances. But I don't know. For me and my wife, it's just so much easier not having to keep track.
Don't fight it. Just give in. Let her do her thing.
Wow. So that's the other thing, Rob. Dude, that was my big thing. Like, because we combined our finances, and we have another a young individual who needs no introduction. The one, the only Richelle Ryan is joining the show to come on and chat with us. Richelle, thank you so much for joining. I'm glad you're joining on this topic, because I'm curious to hear what you think on this topic. But we combined our finances right before, I think it was like right before we got like officially legally married. And my biggest thing was, well, I'm going to lose all my independence and you're just going to watch me like a hawk. And then you realize, like, well, no, like, you have a conversation about what's your budget, what kind of money should you be spending, and as long as you're not running around and buying cars and making extravagant purchases without consulting your spouse, she's not coming for my neck if I go spend $5 at Starbucks. Mm-hmm. So, I think it speaks to the individual relationship. If money is going to cause a problem, then you're probably going to have a problem anyway, regardless of the money. But anyway, sorry, Richelle, thank you. Welcome to Bold American for the first time. You need no introduction. Everybody knows who you are. You have been around the Barstool universe for quite some time now. You are friends with a lot of folks. Yes. Yes. You are a neighbor to Rob in Vegas.
Yes.
And I do want to catch up with you and hear about all the things you're working on as it relates to our veterans and maybe some of your goings on with Marines. And we can keep that above board.
Stream coming over tonight. I was going to ask how long we're streaming for.
Okay. All right. There it is. But sorry, Richelle, let's jump right into it. Did you see my tweet that I quote tweeted Dave Ramsey, and it was in the sheet. So did you have a chance to see this tweet about combining finances as a married couple?
I did. And I mean, I am not married. I am very much single. But if I was married, I think that my money is my money and his money is my money.
Okay. All right. I like that. Because also too, like, Richelle, at this point, if you were to get married at this point, you are a successful businesswoman. So you're bringing, X amount of dollars into a relationship. How do you feel about, like, if someone does not make as much money as you, still combining it? So even if he's got less, it's still yours.
I think that would be a conversation that we would have to have. And I wouldn't be with someone or get married to someone if I thought they were a retard. So we would definitely be going over the budget. And if I saw him buying, PS5s or going out for like lavish dinners, we're going to have a discussion. But I feel like if I was with someone and maybe he didn't make as much, I couldn't imagine that he would be reckless. At least I would hope not. Otherwise, Mommy would scold him.
Yeah.
By the way, I love my intro you gave me. I love that you said I was young. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I love hearing that as a 40-year-old woman.
Yes. Well, you're especially young compared to me at the ripe old age of 41.
I just have to say something. We have been recording. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I know, it's nice to finally, virtually meet you too.
Yeah, we've been recording for over a year now, or maybe we're coming up on 1 year.
Yeah.
I have never, ever been on an episode without any makeup. And tonight of all nights is the night I'm in a remote part of Puerto Rico on a hotspot with no makeup on. And then I've got to be on the screen next to you. And I'm just like, the dichotomy of it is really not, I'm not feeling super positive about myself.
Oh, well,
now.
You are gorgeous. I thought that Connor was never going to invite me on the podcast. And Connor, you could probably share what I said to you when he asked me if I wanted to come on today. I was like, oh, it's about time. Like, I am Miss America over here. And he finally invited me on, but he caught me on a good week where it's kind of like it's award show season. So it's just days leading up to it. I'm just in full hair and makeup glam every single day. So this worked out perfect.
Ryan, you look great. Don't worry. Richelle,
Ryan,
you look fantastic. Ryan, you
yeah.
look great too, though.
I'm not
Ryan,
for compliments.
you
It was
look
just an observation. It was just an observation.
I love it. You're gorgeous.
But hey, Richelle, let's start right there though, and then we'll get back into the show and some of these topics. You call yourself Miss America.
Yes.
You're very vocal about your support of our military and our veterans.
Yes.
Where did that come from, and what is it? And I was sharing a little bit with Ryan and Rob pre-show about how you give back to the veteran community, and if you share as much or as little as you'd like. But just where did this love of our military and our veterans come from?
I come from a big family full of veterans, current and active duty military members, first responders, and I just always feel that service work, just giving back to the veterans. And it's something that just truly means a lot to me, because no matter what I have going on in my life, problems, whatever, it's nothing compared to what some of these men and women have gone through. And just, it's very touching to me. And I've shared some photos and stuff like that with you with some of the vets, and
yeah, some of the older veterans who,
yeah,
I think it's fantastic the amount of time. And again, I don't want to blow up your spot, but like you give a lot of your time to the veteran community, which it's one thing to say like you support, but
yeah, as much as I can. It's just, sometimes with veterans, I've realized that they don't necessarily like stuff that feels like charity. So even just sitting and just talking to them or letting them talk, that means so much to them. And, it makes me feel like so good, because I love being able to just let someone just have someone to vent to, talk to, whatever it is. And I'm grateful. I do a lot of work with U.S. vets here in Vegas, and they're such a great organization. They help homeless veterans, men and women, and any chance I get to go to shelter for even passing out lunch or just sitting there for coffee hour, the guys love it. And it fuels like my fire. I love it. And I wish I could do more, but scheduling and stuff, it can be difficult at times.
Yeah. No, but I, as I mentioned, I think that you actually giving your time speaks volumes about your actual care and love for our veterans, our military. And I think that just speaks about who you are. Right. Right. That's my point.
You can write a check. Anybody can donate gift cards. And don't get me wrong, I still do that. But it's when you show up, like you're accounted for. And it feels great. Like they love a smile. They love a hug, just letting them talk, like petting their service animals, whatever it is. It's just, I love it. And and not even just around the holidays. It's something I like to do just all year round.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So wait, maybe Richelle will get you down to Puerto Rico next year for Ryan's trip next year.
I wish.
Yeah.
Richelle, I have a question for you. So fellow Vegas resident, I just drove down Bonanza after some SHOT Show meetings. So it was a little squirrely down there. So I know that
it's very squirrely down there.
Yeah. What if you had to join the military, if you had to enlist, what service do you think you'd go into?
Probably the Air Force, because it's the easiest. They play like
okay. Well, now what would you want to do in the Air Force?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I mean, I would love to be a machine gunner. I think that would be awesome. That'd be very on par. But
yeah.
I always seem to pick all the Marines that are machine gunners. I'm like, this is wonderful. I just met another one the other day. I'm like, they just seem to find me.
I love it.
Yeah, I wonder why. That's nice.
They just fall in my lap. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Connor, I appreciate you not using military time with me when we were scheduling this.
Oh. Totally understood. Yeah. All right. Well,
it is 9 o'clock.
Fair enough. All right, let's get back into the show. I shared these topics with Richelle ahead of time, so she'll be able to jump in and add some flavor here. But hey, listen, we're going back to the moon, and I think that's cool because I feel like the moon is one of those things where obviously, only 12 men have walked on the moon, and we've had multiple missions besides those 12 men that have walked on the moon. But it's been, I think the last person walked on the moon, Sans, check me here, I think it was like 1970 something. So it's been, 50 years plus, since we put boots on the ground on the moon. So I think it's awesome that we're going back. And it's one of those things also where you wonder, well, why did we stop doing that? And obviously the cost of it all is a consideration. But anyway, we're launching the Artemis. I'm definitely mispronouncing that. Artemis program. It's Artemis. 10-day mission to fly around the moon and splash down back to Earth. First launch window is from February 6th to February 11th. There's 2 U.S. veterans, 1 Canadian veteran and 1 civilian that are going. The Reed Weissman, 27-year Navy veteran, and is an F-14, F-35 test pilot, naval aviator. Victor Glover is an F-18 pilot, U.S. Air Force tech pilot with combat experience. Then the Canadian Air Force CF-18 pilot is Jeremy Hansen. And then Christina Koch is the civilian engineer and scientist that we're sending back up to the moon. What do you guys think about us going back to the moon after a very long hiatus of going to the moon?
So
I just want to know what the point of going to the moon is.
That's a fair question, but it was almost like, why did we go to the moon in the first place? Yeah.
Here's the thing. I didn't realize how many people there were that don't actually believe we've been on the moon.
Oh my God.
Right?
Like
it's still like a recurring topic every other week.
I have friends that are very smart, very intelligent, and they do not believe we have ever been on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing I found most fascinating about this. But this is just a fly around. Like, they're not landing on the moon.
Yeah.
So,
but it's still cool that we're going back. But we haven't been to the moon since 1972. So again, it's been a long time. And yeah, Richelle, to your point, I think it's one of those things. For the good of science, for the good of humanity, to understand our universe, better. What was the JFK quote he said about going to the moon? Now I'm putting myself on the spot. I shouldn't have said that out loud because I can't just recall it.
One small step for man.
Well, that was Neil Armstrong, not JFK. JFK talked about. Oh no,
I'm pretty sure JFK got shot before we went to the moon.
He in fact did. So I'm glad we're doing this little history lesson.
Yeah.
No, it was where he talked about he was at Rice University. And he's like, why does Rice play Texas? As part of the famous quote, but we choose to go to the moon. And it was obviously his dream, but ultimately for the betterment of humanity and science is really what it boils down to. And I think it's great that we're going back and just making sure that we can still get there, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so it's like a staging mission. So they're going to do a recon. They're going to fly around the moon. And then the idea is that we post up permanently for energy, nuclear, and some other renewables. And there's also a space race with China and Russia still. So it's strategic. But this will set the conditions for a permanent location on the moon. I'm not sure if that's going to launch next year, 2030, in the 2030s, but we're going to have a permanent presence up there.
All right. Well, that I can respect.
So maybe Travis Manion 2.0 Puerto Rico is on the moon. I don't know.
Well, if there's a need in the local community on the moon so yeah.
If you could,
I'd love to send there.
Yeah, there you go, Richelle.
If you could be the civilian and go to the moon, would you guys go to the moon?
Hell yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would.
I absolutely would. I would
do it for the content. I'm a content guy.
Yeah,
Richelle, come on, you wouldn't want to go to the moon for any
Dear
work?
God, no. I don't even want to have to fly to LA, let alone.
That's fair.
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. I feel that.
All right.
Yeah. I'm good. We're spoiled here in Vegas. I never
know.
leave.
I love it.
Me too.
All right. Well, maybe more pressing though than the moon is what's going on in Greenland. And to just get everybody caught up really quickly, a timeline. January 3rd, the U.S. Capture of Maduro, and Denmark publicly states Greenland's not for sale. In response, January 14th, J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio met with representatives from Denmark and Greenland, and a working group was formed to discuss this. January 15th, NATO announces Operation Arctic Endurance and deploys a few NATO troops to Greenland. January 17th, Trump responded by announcing tariffs. Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, UK, Netherlands, and Finland will all pay a 10% tariff on goods sent to the U.S. starting February 2026, and the tariff goes up 25% on June 1st, 2026, and will continue until a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. And then yesterday, he wrote a letter to the president of Norway. Dear Jonas, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, although it will always be predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America. Denmark cannot protect that land from Russia or China, and why do they have a right of ownership anyway? There are no written documents. It's only that a boat landed there hundreds of years ago. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. This is just very matter of fact and conversational that he writes this. It's only that a boat landed there hundreds of years ago, but we had boats landing there also. I've done more for NATO than any other person since its founding, and now NATO should do something for the United States. The world is not secure unless we have complete and total control of Greenland. Thank you, President DJT. So basically he's saying we need to control Greenland to keep the world safe. Do you guys think we need to have Greenland as part of the United States? Richelle, we'll start with you.
Oh, God, pressure's
Put
on.
you on the spot.
I don't know. You see a lot of the stuff that I post. I mean, I'm all for everything that this administration is doing and has done. So yeah, I do think it's a good idea.
Okay. Ryan?
I was actually lightly reading in on it, but it's something I think along with Russia and controlling like a canal or something, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Ryan?
Listen, there's a lot of nuances. This is something that he talked about day one when he got in. You started hearing he wants Greenland. So this is definitely a priority. I look more at just kind of the way in which he does things. And it's funny you say he writes like he talks, right? So
yes.
When you say it's it's and there's almost, and I don't want to give too much fuel fire, but there is a bullying type vibe. It's we're going to get Greenland, and this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to continue to put tariffs on you until a deal is reached, which means that they're not going to be able to ship goods to the United States at some point,
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak from the national security standpoint. I feel that if we control Greenland, then we can be better secured. I also think that there's a lot of boats that ended up in a lot of places, and that's how they, how the United States come to be. I don't know. I don't know. I enjoy watching the whole thing. Yeah,
it is tough just because of where geographically is located. I get the rationale that it's a good place to have a presence to keep us protected from, the other side of the world, China and Russia. That part makes sense to me. I just wrestle with
Greenland. It's a 4-hour flight for me. I don't even know if it's that for you and I, Connor. It's not far at all.
No.
Yeah,
it's not.
Should we
Rob,
go
what
to
do you
Greenland
think?
and check it out?
I have no desire to go to Greenland, honestly.
I want to go. I want to go. It's been
I'd rather go to Iceland before I go to Greenland.
Yeah. Iceland is definitely more enjoyable. So Denmark was they're the original Vikings, right? They conquered the West Indies, East Indies, all these islands. We actually bought the Virgin Islands from Denmark right after World War I. So the Virgin Islands, St. Bart's, all those down there towards Venezuela were actually Danish islands. We bought Louisiana from Napoleon. We bought Alaska, I believe, from the Russians. We bought Hawaii from some tribes. We've been doing this for a minute. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when Denmark will just give in. We'll pay them off. We'll take Greenland. It'll be some strategic play where I think because the people of Greenland are Inuit with Danish descent as well, and they speak this like Eskimo Danish language, is pretty cool. I think we're going to do something where we handle their security. We posture there defensively. The Danes still do business. We shake hands. Everyone gets renewables, energy, oil, strategic port access, all that stuff. I think by 2030 we'll have that agreement. It's just classic Trump. He just has to. This is even if you don't like it, this is just how he does it. I'm not a fan of it either.
He's just mastered the art of leverage.
It's just he's just pushing them. And then the Europeans, they send like 10 troops, right? That was so funny to me.
But Rob, everything you laid out makes perfect sense. And I also think it's important to point out like all of the different parts of the United States that were once purchased from other countries. It just hasn't happened in so long that we kind of think like that's not a thing that happens anymore. It's still very much a thing that can happen. The way he goes about it and makes it seem like we're just going to take it by force if necessary. And obviously, if people don't like him, it's, again, just another reason for them not to like him. If it was done in a diplomatic fashion and things were laid out the way you just laid them out in terms of why it would make sense, and if we could do it in such a way where we're partnering with another country to aid them and ultimately make ourselves safer here in the United States, it would all go over a lot better versus like, well, we're just going to go and take it.
I wonder if I don't think he's the first maybe U.S. leader. I'm not saying president, but U.S. leader where it could have been a Senate person, some other elected official that has, or businessman that has maybe tried to push for this in the past. And knowing the European politics, being German myself, like things are, guys, we think things move slow here. Yeah. Things move exponentially slower in Europe because of the EU. It's just a fact. So if he wants to get anything done, he has to push this way. If you're a fan of it or not, that's just how he is. We all know that. We talk about it every fucking week. But
right. And that's the other thing too. It comes down to it's his legacy as he sees it.
Yeah.
And he wants to be able to put the feather in his cap and say, I got this.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. And then Richelle, there's going to be a Trump, casino in Nuuk, the capital of Greenland.
Yeah, let's go.
We got here.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just it could make a lot of sense, but I'd be hard pressed.
Again, it's just like we talk about it every week. It's like the way he goes about it. Like, and tomorrow at 2 a.m. our time, 5 a.m. Eastern, there's going to be some other tweet, and he's probably going to be like making fun of like their sled dogs or something, right? And it's just like, right. It's never going to end until we get it. But
I love it. I feel like every day it's something different. I'm like, what do you do? What's going on?
It's almost exhausting though.
I my man crush a lot.
Yeah. But it is. It's almost it's exhausting to try to keep up with.
It is
that are going on.
It really is. Richelle, have you ever met the president? By the way.
Oh my God, I wish.
Oh, okay, just curious. I've never met Donald Trump. I think Ryan, you have, right? Maybe.
Yes.
Or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Can somebody introduce me to Pete Hegseth? That's like my man. Please.
Maybe we can make that happen. I don't know.
That's true.
Please.
We'll work on that for you, Richelle.
Please and thank you. I'd appreciate that.
But speaking of Pete Hegseth, the Pentagon has now decided they're going to take over Stars and Stripes. And for those who don't know, Stars and Stripes is essentially just the military's news outlet where it talks about all things going on in the military. And I think I recall years ago, reading hard copy of Stars and Stripes. Obviously, it's all online now. I don't know that they still print it, but it was always interesting in terms of understanding what was going on across the military. And I haven't paid attention to it as much. Certainly, big articles that come across my desk, I'll read those. But excuse me, Stars and Stripes used to feel like it was more like a really good first source to go to for military news, and felt like it's been less so in recent years, and maybe that's what's behind the Pentagon wanting to take more control over it. So Sean Parnell, who is the spokesman for the Pentagon there, put out a statement that the Department of War is returning the Stars and Stripes to its original mission, reporting for our warfighters. We are bringing Stars and Stripes into the 21st century. We will modernize its operations, refocus its content away from woke distractions that siphon morale, and adapt it to serve a new generation of service members. Stars and Stripes will be custom tailored to our warfighters. It will focus on warfighting weapon system, fitness, lethality, survivability, and all things military. No more repurposed DC gossip columns, no more Associated Press reprints. Stars and Stripes had a proud legacy of reporting news that's important to our service members. The Department of War is committed to ensuring the outlet continues to reflect that proud legacy. Now, if I had to guess, there's going to be some people that say, well, this is just going to be now Pete Hegseth's puppet, and they're going to print what he tells them to print, and it's going to be biased, and that's going to be that. Their counter to that is going to be, no, we're just going to print the news as it is and make it what it used to be. So what do you guys think about this? And Rob, I want to start with you as somebody who I think can maybe recall reading Stars and Stripes, hard copies of it.
Dude, I remember reading it as a kid because my father was in the Army, so I grew up reading the Stars and Stripes. Even as a young Boy Scout, we'd read it at camps. So I didn't realize that it came out during the Civil War.
Okay.
That's how long it's been in publication for. And since inception, it's been owned by the DoD, Department of War, whatever that organization is. So, I mean, just as we know, the administration is going to do one thing and everyone's going to hate it. But I don't know. I feel like, to your point, Connor, like they just kind of recirculate news and they don't actually like give a shit. They don't actually write their own news anymore unless it's at like a local level, like on a base. But I feel like the Stars and Stripes, like World War II, Vietnam, even like movies would use Stars and Stripes articles and reporting. And then like some of those articles would make it big in the US. And I feel like, I don't know, like our service members are entitled to some good news and good updates. Like, why are we half-assing the publications they're getting when they could just then get it on their phone? So
who is it owned by now?
It is the Defense Media Activity, which is the media services arm of the Pentagon. So it's technically a Department of Defense organization.
But okay. So
I think it's always been that, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So they're just basically saying they're revamping it, essentially.
Correct. Yeah. And since 2010, since under the Obama administration, it was independent for a few years, Connor, for a few years under Bush administration. Okay. And then under Obama, it became another DoD entity. So it's owned by, like, it gets funded by the Pentagon.
Okay. Yeah. I actually remember, in full disclosure, I haven't really kept up with Stars and Stripes. I've had different Stars and Stripes reporters reach out to me over the years for different things. Regarding the work I do. But we've never really followed it as like in recent years as like a news source or someone we're going to for like media to get the word out about things. But a cool Stars and Stripes story is I don't know when they stopped doing the printed version, but after Travis was killed in 2007, they were definitely still doing printed versions of Stars and Stripes. And I actually, in my office, have a framed the front page of Stars and Stripes the week after Travis was killed. And it's a picture of him. And the headline just says, "Like a Giant." And it's a whole article about Travis and the last day of his life. So, yeah.
What? And that exactly. I feel like we don't
stuff like that. Yeah,
they don't do that, like those human interest stories anymore. Yeah. Tell us about like our service members. You know, like the Winter Olympics are coming up.
Right.
I guarantee if I Google right now what service members are competing in the Winter Olympics, there's a bunch, and we don't know about them.
Yeah.
And that's something like Stars and Stripes used to do. So yeah, I appreciate this effort to revamp more traditional media. I just finished reading Graydon Carter's book, the former Vanity Fair editor. And then I recently watched a documentary on the New Yorker, and all these traditional publications are just dying. And it really is a shame, because by revamping it, I think hopefully you'll probably create jobs for up and coming and aspiring journalists who want to report on the great things that are happening all across the military that we have no idea about. And I think that's fantastic, because there's a lot of stories out there to be told about our individual service members. And I think it's important to tell those stories so people can appreciate the great work that we're doing and not just get bogged down by whatever, Fox News, CNN, the AP decide is newsworthy. So I think it's great. Last story, and Richelle, I'm going to put you on the spot again for this one, so be prepared. Former Arizona Senator Kristen Sinema is being sued by her head of security's ex-wife. In North Carolina, there is a spouse. In North Carolina, a spouse can sue a third party and claim they stole a partner's affection. That's an interesting claim. And that's exactly what Sinema is being accused of. So Matthew Amel is a former member of Sinema's security detail. He's been married for 14 years and has 3 kids. Amel's ex-wife claims Sinema and Amel had a relationship, and that relationship caused her divorce. Duh. Sinema and Amel were seen together publicly at a forum in October of last year. So my first question to you, Richelle, is in Vegas, around Vegas, people you may know, people you may be friends with, what stories can you share with us about politicians and things they should not be doing? Anything come to mind?
I don't know anything about any politicians.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I haven't been that lucky to. That's just kind of wild to me. I think it would just fall down to like the other person, their involvement in that relationship. Like I don't know, are they tempting them like, oh, if you come with me, or leave her for me, I'm going to provide you this nice life or whatever. But that's just insane to me that you could sue somebody for that. But you can sue people for almost anything and everything these days. So
yeah,
I guess I'm too surprised.
I just don't understand.
Model, like,
yeah. How would you prove that, though? I wonder, though. Like, oh, that was the reason.
Messages, emails.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. But also, and Ryan, you've spent a lot of time down in DC. I feel like this is just probably a lot more common than people realize, just given that our legislators in DC, obviously are representing every state in the country. So they come from all these states, and they have second homes in DC for when they're in session and they're away from their family who might be, back home in their home state, just because they're not going to shuffle families back and forth. A lot of the politicians I know, that's been the arrangement, because it doesn't make sense to uproot a family for what only might be a 2 or 4 year time of their life. So, what do you think about this woman suing the security detail?
I mean, I think it's crazy, right? But I will say that I think some of the most salacious stories that I have heard come from, the swamp in DC. Like,
yeah,
1000%. Some of the craziest stories I've heard of extramarital affairs and wild things have come from DC for sure, and involve politicians.
And people shit on Vegas for being too crazy. And right in DC, baby. I've heard some weird shit too, Ryan. Like every Army Navy, I hear something new. I'm like, what the fuck? Like
we're tame here in Vegas.
Hey,
everything in Vegas is on the up and up. It's all legal.
You know what I think it is? I think what it is I think you have a lot of people who have been given a tiny little bit of power.
Yes.
And they take that and they feel like they feel like they're invincible. They feel like they can do everything. They kind of go off the deep end. I've seen it happen 1,000 times.
Wow. I think the other thing, and I'm making some sweeping generalizations here.
And so am I.
Yeah. I think a lot of our elected officials, and the joke is they're the failed theater kids, right? So they weren't necessarily maybe the most popular kids in high school and college, and maybe they didn't get a lot of attention from the opposite sex or whatever sex they might be attracted to. And then it's unbelievable how much there are some people who are attracted to a position. So it doesn't matter who's in that position, who that governor is, or who that state representative. They want the story, or they're attracted to the power, and maybe that person's ascending up the ranks in DC and is earmarked for a bigger role, and you all of a sudden get a lot of attention. And geez, my family's all the way back in Colorado, or back in North Carolina, and listen, I say this all the time. I wouldn't cheat on my wife because it's wrong, full stop. The other reason, though, it would just be so complicated to keep up with all the lies. But you could see how when people are that far away from their spouse, they might see it's a lot easier to be unfaithful. So I don't know. This is just not that surprising that someone had an affair with their security detail who they spend so much time with. So
it's almost like a Hollywood story. It's like there was
a lot
of drugs involved too. Like I was like looking at the list. I was like, that's a ton of party drugs. She was a senator for like 6 years. She's kind of outspoken too. Like she wasn't a quiet senator. That's the thing too.
No,
like Kristen Sinema, she was a very outspoken Democrat who voted very Republican and pissed a lot of people off. So she kind of already had like a target on her back. So she really did not give a fuck. Which is like, if you dive into it, cons, like it's an interesting. Let's see where this story goes.
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine going after the other person. Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
I would go after my husband. He would be in trouble.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I, the other person isn't who I'm married to. So I can hate them.
A lawyer said, hey, you can also sue this person. So that's why.
Yeah, for sure.
I can get money from them too. Yeah, exactly. And when you're, hell hath no fury, right? Like a lover scorned. So I get it. All right, that's going to do it for all of our topics. Richelle, I want to give you the floor, though. If there's anything in particular that you are currently working on that you want to shout out as it relates to our military or veteran community that you want to share and get support for, if there, anything you want to bring to our attention, now would be the time.
Yeah, definitely. We're still continuing to work with U.S. vets. We have events every single week. We do combat coffee, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Thursdays. They do aerobics classes. They have lunch daily. And we're always looking for volunteers, even if it's just coming and lending a hand in the kitchen. We're always looking for volunteers, always accepting donations. And they're such a great organization. They do so much. One of my really good friends, he works there, and he also works with Shine the Light, where they go down into the Vegas tunnels. And it's really sad. It's truly heartbreaking. There are so many, it's going to make me emotional. There's so many homeless veterans in those tunnels. And I know they actually work with someone at the VA because they like to go in there on the weekends. Vegas, when it rains, those tunnels get flooded out, and they go in there and they work with somebody at the VA so they can get into the system on the weekends. So that way we can at least get them into some sort of housing and get them out from under there. So if anybody's looking for any volunteer opportunities, even a couple hours out of your time, we truly appreciate it. And the vets there, they love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well said, Richelle.
They veterans just hold such a soft place in my heart. Like even on Veterans Day last year, I get really choked up. It hurts me to my core when I see people I personally know, like they don't even respect like the veterans, like nothing. It's just they don't even give a shout out like Happy Veterans Day. Even businesses, like I low key judge people.
Ditto.
Rightfully so. Rob.
I don't know how I follow that, but okay. I will say though
Sorry,
that
I get so emotional with it. It's something that's always been just true to my heart. So
What Richelle said though about the tunnels here in Las Vegas, I don't think she went to the depth that how crazy it is. It is fucking nuts, guys. To listeners, look up the Las Vegas tunnels. There's a whole tunnel system under our city, not just the strip, under the city. Every corner of the city has tunnels. When it rains, those flood. There's estimated 3,000 to 5,000 people down in the tunnels under the city. So it is pretty graphic. It's a serious issue in the city. And there are veterans down there. And US Vets is a great organization out here in town. I'm very familiar with them too, Richelle. You're doing great work with them. It's awesome to have you on today. And thank you for your time and just being awesome. Yeah, it's a good city. It's good to know that you're here. And let me know what I can do to help you as well with US Vets or any other stuff.
Thank you. I'll see you at SHOT Show coming up.
Yep.
Ryan from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys, for bringing Miss America on the one time I get on here. And
about time Connor asked me, Jesus.
Yeah. So no, it was really great to meet you. And again, I thank you for all you do to obviously it's not your line of work, but advocating for our veterans is something super important. So, really appreciate that. And yeah.
Well, and I think that's important to point out too, right? Like you have a massive following, Richelle. So the fact that you put these causes out there and you showcase the fact that you give your time to our veteran community and to our military community, it's seen by many, and then everyone else can follow suit. Because
I agree.
Peer pressure is a real thing, whether intentionally or not. It absolutely makes a difference.
Yeah. And it's funny, as I've gotten older, it's, when I was in my 20s, it was, if I had any free time or extra money, it's like, I want to go shopping, I want to buy a bag. But now it's so fulfilling when I can just go and I can give back. Like US Vets recently, they blew out all the microwaves at the facility. And I was like, okay, like it makes me feel great knowing like, all right, I'll buy 4 microwaves and bring them there if that's what you need. And it's that's so awesome. Much more rewarding to me.
Yeah. Well, we thank you from the veteran community. Thank you very much. And thank you for having, for making the time to join us tonight on the show. And as a way to make up for my tardiness and getting you on, we'll have you on again very soon.
I would actually love to have Richelle back on and like have some really cool conversations.
Yeah.
You guys want to have some girl time? Like we would just like you guys can chat. And
Connor, I was waiting for you to hammer me with some questions, but you guys were good to me.
Next time, I think that could be some cool stuff we sketch out maybe at an event or something. I don't know. I feel like we could do a lot of cool stuff.
I have some very good stories. Actually, last night I was at the XBiz Awards in LA where I was nominated, and last year I brought my Marine with me in full uniform.
Is this your boyfriend?
No, he's like my cabana boy is what I call him. Military guys make the best little cabana boys. Like whenever I want to go swimming, they just, tend after me. So yeah. What time is it? Oh,
and you like the Marine.
I'm like, he's going to be coming here at like 1,800 hours. So he's probably banging on my door right now.
Well, all right. I don't want to keep you.
But Ryan needs a cabana boy too.
All women need a cabana boy.
The last thing I'll have, the quote I was thinking of from JFK, it's about going to the moon. It's like, basically, why do we do this? We choose them not because they're easy, but because they are hard. That was the quote I was looking for, and I don't know why I couldn't think of it in the moment, but a very famous quote that ultimately ended up with us getting on the moon. Now, and the last thing I'll say about that, I think the craziest thing about us going to the moon, shout out Buzz Aldrin. We landed on the moon in 1969. The Wright brothers flew in 1903. So it was only 66 years between that rickety ass flight and then putting a person in a rocket and sending them to the moon. Like that to me is crazy. So it'll be crazy to see like what we're able to do in the next 66 years. But with that, that's all I got. Go enjoy the Cabana Boy, Richelle, and everybody else enjoy the national championship. We'll have a national champion by the time you guys listen to this.
Who's everybody rooting for? That's what I want to know.
Miami.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard not to root for Indiana. Yeah, just for the story of it all. So, but anyway, we'll see how that goes. And I am very big on letting the college football season go away. Some people want to make it longer, and I'm like, go away, because then I can appreciate you when you're here in end of August into now January. So I'm sad to see. It's always bittersweet. Sad to see the season end, but happy that it happened, and we'll see who we end up with as a champion tomorrow morning when everyone's listening to this. But with that, take care. Make it a great week.